Hello, true believers, and welcome to episode 22 of the Mighty Marvel Mayhem Show. I'm your host, Kevyn Knox, and as always, if you like what you see, click on the thumbs up. And if you're new here, click on subscribe. Okay, let's get going. In this episode, we're going to take a look at Tales to Astonish and the astonishing Ant-Man. Well, at least he's Ant-Man for a little while. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, now Tales to Astonish at this time was the place where you saw the adventures of Ant-Man and the wonderful winsome Wasp, his lovely sidekick, Janet Van Dyne. Now, Hank Pym is Ant-Man, as we should know if you've watched the other episodes. Hank Pym is Ant-Man. Now, he doesn't really have the greatest rogues gallery of villains. They're pretty lame. Pretty lame. But hey, in issue 47, we get Trago, who plays music and can mesmerize people. You know, like a musician can. But he uses his powers for evil. But Trago is another one of those lamos. We'll never see this loser again. Number 48, we get another loser lamo villain in the Porcupine. The Porcupine! I mean, how stupid looking is this guy? Like I said, Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, they don't have the best rogues gallery. They're not exactly fighting Doctor Doom or Loki or the Mandarin or something like that. No, they're fighting Trago, the music guy, and the Porcupine! The real thing I want to talk about in this episode, though, happens with issue number 48. Now, with issue 42, Jack Kirby, who helped create the character, stepped back from his artistic duties because he was doing so many other things at the time, and this was probably his lamest character, so he gave the artistic duties to Don Heck. And Don Heck was doing, a fine job with it. But then, with issue number 48, Jack Kirby comes back for a 3-issue run. And this is where we get to meet Giant Man. That's right, Hank Pym goes the other direction. Instead of little tiny Ant-Man, he becomes big old Giant Man. I guess he can still shrink. I mean, he just be shape-changing man. Shape-changing man! Okay, Giant Man works. Later he'll become Goliath, but right now he's Giant Man. And he has to fight the Living Eraser. The Living Eraser erases people by doing this. But he's not actually erasing them, he's taking them to another dimension. And he's taking all the scientists because he wants to build an atomic bomb and destroy this dimension. So, of course, Hank Pym is one of the scientists he takes, but he doesn't know that he's Giant Man. And him, along with the wonderful winsome Wasp, who little tiny wasps snuck along with him, battle him and fight him and destroy him. And, well, they don't really destroy him, Well, they take care of business, just say that. Now, in the next 2 issues, we get to see Giant Man now and the wonderful winsome Wasp fighting the Human Top. Now, as opposed to like Quicksilver or the Flash, the Top is fast, but he doesn't just run fast, he spins. And because of that, Giant Man can't keep a hold of him when he catches him. Oh, I hate to be Giant Man. I hate to be Hank Pym. He's such a freaking loser. But hey, eventually they do beat him and everything. But this is really all that happens here. We do get a Wasp backup story. We're starting to build her character because right now she's kind of like just the token female, boy crazy, clothes crazy. But eventually, well, Janet Van Dyne never stops being clothes crazy or boys crazy, but she actually does become a real live superhero. But right now, they're starting to get there. It's 1964 at this point, so they're just starting to get to the whole equal rights thing. But anyway, Giant Man and the Wasp don't have that much longer in Tales to Astonish because in a few issues they're going to have to leave and someone else is going to take over for them in the main story. But that's another tale for another time in another episode. Right now I'd like to talk about one other comic. And we have to go back to World War II for this comic. This comic is Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, where we have Nick Fury, still with 2 eyes, and only a sergeant here, he's not a colonel yet, fighting the Nazis in World War II. Now, usually this doesn't coincide with the modern tale, but a character in Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos number 5 will be very important. We get to finally meet Baron von Strucker! Now, Baron von Strucker is this evil Nazi, as opposed to all those good-hearted Nazis out there, but he's a Nazi. I guess I don't have to put the evil part there. But this is where we first see him. Now, eventually, he's going to create Hydra. Yeah, that Hydra. You know, the Hail Hydra. Yeah, that Hydra. And become a big pain in the ass for Nick Fury when he's with S.H.I.E.L.D. and with Captain America and with the Avengers and with a lot of people. I mean, it's Hydra. Hail Hydra. I don't really hail Hydra. They're Nazis. I hate them. But I'm on Nick Fury's side here. But it was in Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos #5 that he first appeared. Okay, there. I talked about Ant-Man. Giant Man. I don't have a Giant Man shirt. So this is probably the last time I'm going to get to wear this shirt on an episode. Well, until Scott Lang comes into it, but that's a whole other thing. That's a Paul Rudd thing. But we talked about Giant Man and the wonderful Winsome Wasp and Baron von Strucker. So I guess that's it for this episode. Not that exciting. I mean, Hank Pym's here, so of course it's not going to be that exciting. But hey. I'd also like to mention another thing about Hank Pym as Giant Man. Now, he also changed to Giant Man, of course, in the Avengers with issue #2. And you see him in meetings with the Avengers. And they're all sitting around this little meeting table. And Hank Pym is still Giant Man. He's in a tiny little chair. I mean, it's a regular-sized chair, but he's still Giant Man. I mean, either get him a bigger chair or just shrink down to normal size. You're just having a meeting. You're not fighting the Hulk. That's a little pet peeve of mine. Why he doesn't shrink down whenever he's doing just regular day things. But anyway, enough of my rambling. That's it for this episode. I'd like to thank you for watching this episode. And if you liked it, give it the old thumbs up and let me know what you thought in the comments. And as always, if you don't already subscribe to the Mighty Marvel Mayhem Show, and you should, click on that subscribe button. Just click on it right now and tell all your friends to do the same thing. The more the merrier. Well, that's it, gang. See you in the funny pages.